Hey babies, I'm using my nice camera this time um, because I can. So, look, I got a haircut. Pretty, pretty. Look at that, it's pretty. So I got some good questions, really hard questions. The first one is from Philemus, aka A Season of Poison, aka Philopotamus Maximus, aka Philanthropist Extraordinaire. And the question is, the question you will hate the most. Mwahaha. You get to write yourself in as a character on Glee. What kind of character would you be? What would your character do? What kind of music would you want to sing? What other characters would your character befriend and get along with? Some guidelines. No killing other characters. You must not physically harm any of the other characters. Girl, you're making this real hard. At least 2 characters from the Glee Club would need to be your best friend. Haha, don't hate me too much for this. Okay. Throwing down the gauntlet like a motherfucker, ain't you? Okay. What kind of character would I be? I would be, I guess, like the dark comic relief. The show is so touchy-feely and namby-pamby and PG-13. It's like my so-called life with all the good shit taken out, or something. So I would be a Daria-esque character, talking shit and wreaking havoc and being insane in a real way, not in a cute PG-13 way. I can't harm anybody, but I sure can harm the set. So I would be setting shit on fire left and right, throwing chairs and being a psychopath. What would your character do? Just said that. What kind of music would you want to sing? There's a large part of me that wants to say I wouldn't do any music for Glee because I think what they do to music is a rape and a bastardization of my most beloved art form, whereby a bunch of really pretty, even the ugly people on Glee are pretty, a really, they like auto-tune these super pretty, basically kids that you could tell were theater nerds, and like, ugh. It's just vomit, dude. I can't stand it. So I'd do, Bjork and Diamanda, and Radiohead, and Tom Waits, and Joy Division. And it would all have to be live, or I wouldn't do it. And the bands that, the like backup band, the studio musicians that they get to play, I bet they're all ugly and in their 40s, would all have to come out and play with me. And we would tear shit up, and we would melt people's faces off. What other characters would your character befriend and get along with? I wasn't aware that Glee had characters on it. I thought that it just had a bunch of one-dimensional stereotypes placed on bodies. I don't know. There are characters in that show. I don't know any of their names other than that Karofsky kid because I want to bone him. That's about it. And he's not... I guess I'd get along with him in the locker room. At least 2 characters from the Glee Club would need to be your best friend. Okay, I don't know the names of anybody on Glee because I've only watched 1 or 2 episodes, and it made me violently angry. So angry that I threw the remote at the television in disgust and had to leave the room because it was... Okay, I know I always cite it, but I know the one that sticks out was the episode where the cute guy sings "I Wanna Hold Your Hand." I think. Or, what was it? or maybe it was it was a Doors song. Anyway, I don't remember which one it was, and it was so piss poor and terrible and one-dimensional, monotone, pitch corrected, samey, mediocre fucking vomit that all I could do was just get angry. And I did. I mean, like, livid. I was like, this is really what people want? Like, this is what we've come to? This kind of cultural fucking black hole bullshit as entertainment? Bother me. And Philemus asks some other questions. What color would you say best describes you? Personality, physically, etc. And why? For those of you familiar with the Color of Magic series, the Color of Magic, the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. The color that best describes me is octarine, and that is a color that has never been seen by human eyes because it's the color of magic. What was the scariest moment in your life, and how has it affected you? I realize how bad I copped out on that last answer, by the way. Fully aware. Let me get a better one. I think midnight blue. Like, dark, shiny midnight blue, like nail polish midnight blue, you know? Because I'm dark, but I'm not black. Elements of sparkle. Because I can't see that color without thinking of blue velvet, which, Lynch, hello. Let me see, what else? It's just like, it's just a sexy color, and it's mysterious, and I like that. And I also like deep red. I like deep colors, like deep dark shades of almost any color, but particularly blue and red. I wonder what Freud would have to say about me. So what was the scariest moment in your life, and how has it affected you? There are two. One time I was kneeboarding. Actually, I was trying to water ski. I'm good at kneeboarding, but I was trying to water ski, and I got caught up in the rope and dragged behind the boat, and it took them a moment to realize that I had gone down and was wrapped up. So for like 20 seconds, maybe, I was pretty sure that I was going to die, and it was the scariest thing ever, because drowning is by far, like, the one way, like, drowning and dying in a fire. No, that's not how I want to go out. And how has it affected me? I don't know. I haven't water skied since. The other one was when I got hospitalized last year, just because I didn't realize that I had an irrational phobia of hospitals, probably due to watching my dad slowly die in one. But it was just really scary, because I didn't, like, I've had bronchitis so much over the last 5 years that I'm, like, used to that nasty, gnarly, chesty feeling, and I didn't realize how bad it had gotten, but it was pneumonia, the flu, and bronchitis, like, all at once. And apparently it had gotten really bad, and I had to be in a quarantine room and get all these breathing treatments. If you go back in the archives, it was all chronicled there, but it was like, it was just harrowing to me because I was really scared. Because I don't like hospitals. What is one book and or video game you'd like to see made into a movie, TV show, or cartoon? I'm going back and redoing the Dune series from the beginning, and I think that the Butlerian Jihad and all of that would be cool if it was made into a movie, but it would probably be best served as a mini-series, but it can't be like, it can't. I mean, the ones that they did for Dune and Dune Messiah and Children of Dune on Sci-Fi Channel, they were good, man. But I think because they're such big, complex stories, when they had to boil them down due to, I guess, episodic contractual reasons or whatever, um, it cheapened it and made caricatures out of people like Alia and stuff like that. It kind of made it a bit soap opera-y, and there were some really corny special effects things that, um, you know, I would rather watch the David Lynch version of Dune with all the miniatures and all of that stuff, and like the, what's that kind of painting called? You guys know what I'm talking about. Where, like, they paint on a piece of glass to fill in parts of the background to give, like, what's that? Matte painting. Like, there are scenes that just make that movie look huge, you know? And, it's way better than CGI and always will be. I mean, give me the real thing, man. I like it a lot better. It's more convincing, and it's easier to go on the ride when you're not like, oh, look, I'm watching a video game. And I think it would be cool if they made it into a video game as well, because the only Dune video games they had were kind of like the precursors to the Command and Conquer style video games, which I've never really been big into because it's not my thing. And I mean, I don't know. I think it would be cool if, like, if as opposed to maybe a miniseries, if it was done as a cartoon by somebody like Ralph Bakshi, you know, using rotoscoping or something like that, because that first Lord of the Rings movie has some of the most beautiful animation I've ever seen in it. And it could be really interesting and rich. You know, that's the thing about that Lord of the Rings cartoon, is it's rich, like good Italian food and a dark red wine. It's like the visual palette is so large. And of course, I'm not, you know, saying that Peter Jackson didn't do an amazing job, because he did. Those are still some of my favorite movies. But I mean, I grew up with that cartoon, you know, and it was the shit to me then, and it still is now. And I would have said the Dark Tower series if I didn't know they were already doing that. And I think what they're doing is making a trilogy with a mini-series that fills in the info in between. I just hope that the mini-series has as big a budget as the movies, like HBO style or something, like HBO's mini-series are. So that answers those questions. Mwah.